what with the way dating is now, what's your biggest frustrations with dating?
Um, One of my biggest frustrations is, I guess when people like play games, kind of like when you say things like, I don't want to hang out with this person every single time because I don't want to seem desperate, or I don't want to message all the time because I don't want to seem desperate. And just like things like that, it kind of like seems like after a while you can like, it's like you're distancing yourself and you can't tell if like someone like likes you or not and stuff. So I don't know if that makes sense, but that is something that's kind of sucky.
There's a lot to be said that this is both the greatest tool for dating and the greatest causes the greatest harm. I know from our end, we see women who think you should respond to a text immediately. And I literally have to help men train their wives to not expect immediate responses.
Yeah,
Texts are not
I
urgent.
understand that.
At the same time, it shouldn't be like at 8 o'clock, I send a text every morning. Melanie knows when I first think of her in the morning, I send her a good morning text.
Mm-hmm.
It could be at 6:30, 7:30. I might get my workout in and then be running behind and have a coaching call. Might not be till 10 o'clock.
Right.
And she understands the world and she has her own work. So she doesn't get bent out of shape, but it's not like I go days and don't text her.
Oh,
Or,
yeah.
like you said, I don't try
Some
to
people do
create
that.
distance, but the balance is we don't want to be needy and over text.
Right. Yeah.
It's a little bit of a balancing act, which I think varies depending on who you're interacting with and how you guys feel the connection went.
Yeah. Yeah. So sometimes it's just natural and sometimes it's not, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know.
And you've got to wonder, if the communication flows, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
If communication seems like pulling teeth all the time, I think
Yeah.
that's a good sign as well. Not for the relationship,
Right. Yeah.
but where it's headed.
Exactly.
This would be going back to before we started dating.
Okay.
What is one of your biggest frustrations with dating?
When a man feels, let me scratch the word feels. When a man puts me in a position of having to sell myself to him in order to, prove my worth to him. So if you're any good at communication at all, you're going to be able to spend a few minutes. Not that kind of worth, honey.
I couldn't resist.
And you already own me. I'm not about to try to sell myself to you. You already own me. But if he's trying to get me to prove my value to him, that's a no-go for me, because in previous relationships, I had to do that even when we were together for a long time, And if you're any good at communication, you're going to be able to sit with that person for 15, 20, 30 minutes and tell if there's enough that you want to learn more. Put in the time, put in the effort. Don't make her sell herself to you like a car salesman. And I'm actually trying really hard to not go to that one question that triggers men and women alike.
Yes, we don't want to go to the table question.
Well, but that's kind of what I'm getting at. And because I think men do it without realizing it sometimes, even when they don't use that question.
You can be curious and ask questions, and it is a completely different energy and vibe than interrogating.
Yes.
Or interviewing.
Yes, absolutely.
And for me, I always found the difference was the time flies when you're enjoying the conversation and there's a little bit of connection and you're curious. to find out about the other person as opposed to, looking at check boxes to do they qualify.
Right. And that kind of goes back to the profile with that laundry list,
Yeah. What's your biggest frustration with dating?
Honestly, my biggest frustration with dating is kind of myself right now. Time is really difficult to allot appropriately. So I don't have a lot of it. Nobody has a lot of it. So if I'm giving you my time, I want it to be valued. I need to feel like it's valued because I am working to make sure that whoever's time I'm taking, I make them feel valued for that. And so I think my biggest frustration is that the communication leading up to a date seems really good. But then once we're like, okay, let's get together Sunday afternoon, more often than not, I'm finding guys just kind of stop the conversation until all of a sudden we meet up. And at that point, I've begun to lose interest. So that's difficult. And I am good at maintaining conversation, but I am tired of being the most interesting thing about the date. To me.
So what you're saying is there still needs to be some daily contact, which lets you know there's still interest, but not texting all day like this silly teenager.
Right. I mean, if texting all day happens, don't avoid it. I mean, I enjoy that. It doesn't happen very often with somebody. I can respond or not respond. But I love irony of stupid meeting being pointed out. I have very strange things that happen to me during the day. So I really am looking forward to finding my person who I can send the funny and the ironic and the stupid to. I think that those are bids, valuable bids for attention. And I think that those are, moments that build connection. But I've been really surprised at how many guys are like, this is great. What are you doing? Can we go out Thursday? And that's a request that's made on Monday, which I'm lucky if my Thursday is available. So, a lot of times it'll have to be a week from Monday because my schedule's just crazy. And they're like, okay, cool. And then the best that they can do after that is good morning, beautiful, which is a nice way to start the day, but you better have more words than just that. And that's probably my biggest frustration is just maintaining interest and ease of conversation until to find out if there's more.
Fair
which
enough.
I've just been assuming now that there just wasn't the more, which did me a big favor once I realized it was probably not me. It's just there was no the more.